just as like. Hallo, liebes Internet, da sind wir wieder von bloggercamp. Hello, and again we are from Inside AR, and with me is Kavin Andi from St. George Hospital in London, and he is a facial reconstructing. And what do you do in your hospital?
Well, Hans, I'm a facial reconstructive surgeon, so I treat patients mainly with cancer who need parts of their face, mouth and jaws removed and reconstructed with other parts of their body. So I use quite a lot of 3D technology in helping to plan this process, which is the main reason why I'm here, because there's going to be a convergence of technologies, as we can see that's happening right here at Inside AR 2014, with many potential medical applications. So I'm hoping to partner with manufacturers and developers who are all here today in order to improve the outcomes for our patients in the long term.
What is the augmented reality part in your work?
Well, as I said, we use a lot of 3D technology, which we can build up from patients' CT scans and MRI scans and so forth. So this is commonplace in most hospitals. And really, the augmented reality part is taking that 3D data from outside the operating room before the operation to the operating room in real time. And this is where a lot of the technologies that have been showcased today will be very useful in helping us to register and track the 3D data to the patient, so that we can use the information which we've obtained from scanning in real time in the operating theatre.
We have some short video. We have prepared some short video to show how it's worked. Maybe you explain our visit.
Yeah, sure. So here you can see a very standard 2D CT scan. And what I've done is segment out the cancer, which is in red. So as a surgeon, it's important to remove the cancer with a safety margin of tissue. These cancers have very complex shapes. They interact with different tissues, and in the planning process, one has to determine the amount of tissue that's going to be removed. So here I can see the relationship of the airway and the windpipe, how much tongue tissue will potentially need to be removed, as well as the relationship of the cancer to the jawbone. All this data, because it's 3D, can be outputted to a 3D printer, so we can have a physical model as well. And really, the future for AR is to take this data into the operating theatre so that I can carry out the procedures with this data in hand.
So the outcome is that the patient is only removed what has to be removed. So not more and not less, and the right parts. And is there any, you use the data afterwards to reconstruct, then he has to get a new part of his jawbone or things like that?
Absolutely, Hans. In fact, the data, the 3D data, we can use as a template. For example, if I needed to cut out a jawbone from the hip, I can use the original template from the jaw to ensure that the shape and the fit is correct. A lot of what we're dealing with is very much at the molecular level. I can't see cells as I'm operating, but our imaging in future will be able to pick up the molecular margin, and it's bringing that margin to the operating theatre is what I think will have a real impact in the long-term survival of our cancer patients. It will enable us to remove the cancers based on the imaging that we see, and not just based on what the surgeon can see or feel.
How is it in the operation room? How can we imagine how this works? Do they have just a screen, or do they use augmented reality glasses or something like that, or is it future?
Well, all these different technologies are under exploration at the moment, and we'll probably need a bit of research time to determine what the best modality is. Of course, we're exploring transparent LCD screens, as well as the binocular augmented reality glasses. There are different registration and tracking technologies that can be deployed. But you know, this is a new frontier, and it will require some clinical research and acquisition of data to determine what works best in the hospital environment.
I think it's a bit more difficult to use AR technology on a living human being than on a car or a cupboard like IKEA does it. I think you have to be very careful then with this technology.
I agree entirely, which is why we have to look very carefully at the safety aspects and the precision of all these techniques. Let's not forget we have a huge potential in medical education. As a surgeon, I work very much in spatial and 3D data. Training surgeons how to do operations in AR is probably the next step. And again, is it going to be a more rapid acquisition of knowledge versus our traditional methods? We don't know yet. And these are areas which I'm very much looking to exploring in future.
So my last question to you is, what do you think we will have in 10 years from now on in your part of business?
Well, I see real-time tracking, sort of soft tissue deformable objects with very lightweight, high-resolution binocular spectacles that will bring molecular imaging into the operating theatre. And we may be using molecular tools to fight cancer in unison as well.
So it sounds very interesting. I think you're at the far edge of the technology, 3D, augmented reality. I think it's very interesting to see what will come in the future.
Yes, indeed, the future is very bright. And here at St. George's University Hospital in London and Croydon University Hospital, we are pushing the boundaries in convergence with our university partners in bringing the future a reality. And I hope that day will come sooner rather than later for our patients.
Is there anything here on Inside AR which you will see in the next future as a really big hype? Is there anything you need in your hospital which is not there today?
Well, there have been quite a few interesting talks on machine learning, and in particular the SLAM technology, learning the environments from the first time. I think this has potentially a huge application in body cavities, looking inside the mouth, where we can map in real time and register that to pre-scan data. So I think the machine aspect of learning the environment and reacting to the environment is a very, very promising area.
Thank you very much for this interview and the very interesting information you gave us. Thank you very much.
That was interesting.